The Guide for Monitoring District Implementation of Educator Evaluation Systems provides a process that one state, Missouri, used in order to develop tools to collect information about implementation in their districts.
Just like many other states, Missouri was in the process of implementing new educator evaluation systems. And they had a system in place that allowed districts to self-report on their progress. But Missouri realized that what they wanted to do was gather much deeper data as to where exactly districts were along this process. Were they implementing these systems? Were these systems having any impact? And so they asked REL Central to help them out and to design a system that would allow the state of Missouri to gather much more deep and meaningful data about the implementation of these educator evaluation systems by districts in the state.
So the guide provides processes and some tools to help districts think about how they can collect data about districts' implementation, whether districts are implementing their own systems or districts are implementing a statewide system.
The first step in the process outlined in this toolkit is the idea that a state has to develop principles of effective evaluation or develop guidelines for what they want evaluation systems to look like. Because if these guidelines aren't in place, then districts have no clue as to what they need to do when they're developing their own systems. And not only that, the state is going to have a very difficult time aligning district systems with state expectations.
Once states have developed guidelines, they need to think about what types of data they can collect that will show whether or not districts are implementing these systems. Particularly, the guide walks through the process of developing two types of data. The first type is looking at policy data to understand what policy districts have put into place related to implementing evaluation systems. In addition, states need to think about collecting practice data to understand how the policies are actually being put into place. These are done primarily through surveys. For example, a district may have a policy that teachers need to be observed twice during the school year as part of their evaluation ratings. And this way you can collect survey information to find out if teachers are really being evaluated and observed twice. The final process that's presented in the guide is to develop adherence criteria. That is to help states think about, once you collect this data about implementation, how do you determine whether or not districts are actually meeting standards for implementing the system.
REL Central went through a number of different processes with the state, ranging from helping them operationalize the terms used in each of their principles for effective evaluation, to the development and adaptation of existing survey items, and generally facilitated conversations throughout the state to help Missouri develop these tools.
This process could be used by other states to develop their own tools. In addition, the tools that are provided in the guide could be adapted by other states to use to collect data from their own districts. Districts could also use the tools in the guide or adapt the tools in the guide to self-assess their alignment to state educator evaluation system guidelines.